Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I want to talk today about having a little bit of fun with pitching, hitting different types of shots. Now, this is part of a series on pitching, and if you've missed the first 3 episodes, the first one was on how you set up for the pitch shot, regardless of which pitching club you're using. The second was talking about some of the elements of the technique of pitching, and the third video was on the dynamics, which, as I mentioned in the video, is sometimes the gold. If you haven't seen those, go back and have a look at them. Now, not every pitch is a standard pitch, but most are. Normally, when you're looking to hit different types of shots, just change your club. So I've got 4 wedges in my bag: a standard pitching wedge, a 52-degree wedge, a 56 and a 60-degree wedge. So the different lofts are going to give me different shot results when I hit them. The more lofted the club, generally, the higher the risk. Now, of course, there are going to be occasions where you have no choice but to use that club because of the type of shot you got in front of you. A shot over a bunker with not much room to between the edge of the bunker, the start of the green and the pin, where you've got to go up an embankment, and again, there's not that much room to play with. So those are the times that you're going to use the more lofted club. If we start to have a look at some of the different shots I'm playing, so here I've got a 56-degree wedge. If I'm playing a standard shot, ball's in the middle of my feet, as the club swings back and through, not a lot of wrist action as I'm playing the shot. And my shot, if I'm striking it well, is going to fly at a pretty consistent height. Now, regardless of how good you are, you'll find that that is going to vary a little bit. Sometimes you're thinking you're doing the same thing, but you still get some variation. That aside, let's say we've got a standard pitch with a standard height. If I were to hit the ball a little bit lower, there's a couple of things I'm going to do. First of all, my ball position is going to be placed a little bit further back in my stance. Now, my standard ball position is about the middle. If I want to hit the ball lower, I'm going to move it back. Now, I've hardly moved my feet at all. Maybe I've moved my feet a little, about a ball width toward the target. So it's moved the ball back in my stance just a little bit. But the key thing when I'm playing this shot is when I swing through, I want to make sure my hands are ahead of the golf ball when I'm playing my shot. Now, if I try and hit the ball really hard, then it's likely that I'll use my hands, flip the club, and I'll have more loft, and I'll either miss-hit it or it might go quite high. So if I'm looking to hit the ball low, I'm going to keep the swing pace down, or the swing pace low, not much wrist movement, and then just let my hands be ahead of the club as it goes through, and the ball will come out quite low. If I'm looking to hit the ball higher, then when I play the shot, I want to play the shot and have my hands just ahead of the ball, so not a long way, not as far ahead as before, because this is changing the loft on the club. Where my hands are in relation to the club, in relation to the ball at impact, changes the loft on the club. And I don't have to change it a whole lot. If I really wanted to change it a lot, I'd change my club. So if I want to hit the ball higher, now I've got the ball placed a little bit forward in my stance, and when I swing the club through, rather than sort of cutting a little bit of a divot, ideally my club is just going to brush the grass as it goes through. I'm definitely still hitting the ball with a slight descending blow and never trying to scoop it up. So playing these shots is a higher risk because we're coming into the club into the ball a little bit more of a shallow blow, but again with the same club, the ball flies quite a bit higher. And you can see there was no divot. I've just brushed the ground through here, whereas the previous shots I did take a little bit of a cut with a divot. But experiment with hitting the ball different heights, high and low. Don't make massive changes to your setup. When you're trying to hit it high, remember you're still striking it with a slight, shallow descending blow. But all of the other elements of setup, the movement of the club, the dynamics of the movement, they all stay the same. So have fun, do that experiment with different clubs over different distances, and you'll find that your pitching game is going to sharpen up massively.